This is going to be the summary page of the Managed Methods platform here. And one of the core parts that both Kobe and Michael mentioned there was the risk section of the platform. It's one of the core parts. This is where the platform is going to go out into Drive files, into Gmail, into Shared Drive over in Microsoft, because the platform looks at both Google and Microsoft. It's also going to look at OneDrive, at Outlook, at SharePoint Teams files there as well. Those risks can vary quite dramatically between what they might be. We've got anything from looking for more your standard data loss prevention things like social security numbers to credit card numbers, with abilities for things like FERPA or IEP information, where there can also be focusing on more of the student safety aspect, that behavioral side of things as well too, where we have got a couple different machine learning models with our self-harm machine learning model, our toxicity risk machine learning model there as well. And then really the sky's the limit with these risk scans. There's a lot of customization that can be done to these. There's a lot of ways we can tweak and adjust these as needed depending on what the district needs. Every district I work with is a little bit different on what kinds of specific needs or things they're looking for, and we can work with you on customizing those, and it works quite well to go ahead and have the platform go out and look for those things. So there's always something of concern, but the question is, okay, what kinds of things are of concern, and how can we go ahead and track that down? So that's what we're going to be looking at on that risk side of things. We also then do have very powerful insight into both file and email activity here. So over on Drive files, and we actually have a brand new feature that I'll get to actually kind of show off here today as well too. But this Files tab gives a lot of great insight into the files out here. We'll have some similar functionality over in OneDrive as well too. But there's a lot of visibility that we'll provide into files. You can quickly see how people are sharing files here. So we'll have some different icons to indicate that. We provide some deeper dive searches as well too. The platform is an API-based platform, so we don't see every single file that's ever happened, but this live file search allows you to do those deep dive searches. And if a file is out there, the platform should be able to go ahead and track it down. So it works quite well to go ahead and take a look at that as well too. And then we also have this newer feature here called Manage Drives. This is brand new. This has just been introduced, and this allows you to go ahead and now look at some insight into the folders within Drive. So this is brand new here that we've just introduced as well too. So also very nice. Allows you to do some changing of some permissions and things like that. So it should be helpful in those situations or scenarios where you've got maybe a staff member who's misshared an entire folder, or you need to go ahead and give somebody access to a specific folder in someone's Drive as well. So Files very powerful on that side. And then similar functionality over in Gmail and Outlook as well too, where we'll provide some greater visibility just generally into the email messages side of things here, which is a shorter time frame. And then we have a much more powerful search functionality here with this live email search, which allows you to do those more deep dive searches. Great for responding to incidents where somebody maybe sent an email domain wide, or maybe there was a situation where there's a specific user in question you need to keep an eye on because they've been having some issues or some odd emails there. So very easy ability to go in, click in, see what emails are out there, ways to go ahead and pull those emails down in different ways, look at the actual headers of the email, or even come in here and outright delete, mass delete emails as well too. So lots of really handy ways to go ahead and help address emails and files that way too, just more general visibility. The risks are great for of course, learning about the things you're most concerned about, but those file and email activities allow you to track things down or search for things. So hey, we heard about so-and-so incident, or hey, something has come up here, we want to go ahead and track it down. We can take a look at that quite easily with both those tools there. And then policy violations speaks to some of the automation that the platform has here. So there are very powerful policies in the platform which can help automate the process of the platform here. I'm going to have to switch views here into one of our filtered views, but this is a way where things can be set up to go ahead and take automatic action on behalf. We've got policies on more the content side of things here, which can be looking at Drive files, email, share Drive. We'll be looking at some login policies as well too. So looking at that login activity of your end users, ensuring that, hey, are people logging in from where they should be? Do we have some issues with people logging in from outside the United States or areas like that? And then also looking in the Google side, we'll have app policies as well too, looking for those OAuth tokens and what people are signing in with their district issued accounts there. So policies can help automate a lot of the things. They're going to provide the alert notification system of the platform as well too. So very, very powerful on that end as well.
I will add to that, Charles and David, that
Absolutely.
out of the box, Managed Methods has a tremendous set of policies already ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So the interface also is pretty intuitive. You kind of get accustomed to digging through there. As you start to get this intelligence, it really starts to drive where you're going to modify policies and what policies you want to add and expand on. But out of the box, it's fully ready to go.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Yes, there's a lot of great out-of-the-box policies that are ready to be deployed. Everything starts in alert-only state. We don't want to start interfering with your environment, but it's going to provide some great insight that way as well too, to just figure out what's out there in the first place, and then from there you're able to make those adjustments and those modifications, as Michael mentioned there. And then App usage is another section the platform covers, so that's that OAuth token activity there. So that's something the platform will also dig into and provide some great visibility into as well. So this is where you're able to go through, see what OAuth tokens people have authorized quite easily. This is one of the features that I think is extremely helpful. We look at this on both Google and Microsoft as well too, so you're able to see who's using the application in question. You're able to see categorization. This is something we do on the managed methods end, and also very importantly to what permissions have been authorized, because applications can have wildly different permissions. One of the things we commonly see are things like Yahoo, for example, where Yahoo tends to have a lot of very powerful access into email. It's something you want to keep a very close eye on, and ensure that the applications that do have that level of access in email are ones that are vetted, that are known and trusted. Because if something happens to Yahoo or something happens to another application that has that level of access, that's another potential avenue where someone could gain access into things. So very important to keep a close eye on those applications. And I know a lot of districts have their students locked down now, but if you don't have your staff locked down, definitely worth taking a look at and seeing what your staff are up to as well too, because unfortunately staff can get into some interesting things as well, just like students. The number of times I've seen, for example, shopping applications like Temu, for example, that was the one that was being advertised at the Super Bowl very heavily. That's on lots and lots of districts I work with. So common thing we see there as well.
Well, and Charles, here it's perfect that you're on the map because one of our audience members, another guest panelist here, Chris shared with us that the login map was extremely helpful for them this morning because they had a student compromised account and they found, by quickly seeing multiple logins from all over the world coming from the student account, the data helped them quickly go in and reset and start working on an investigation. So they were able to reset the student's account and analyze the fact that they had a situation there. So a shout out from an audience member about the login map. So
Absolutely. The login map and the login data is definitely a very important part of the platform, especially now. It used to be that student accounts weren't as much of a target, but now they're very much a target, just like staff accounts are. So definitely really important to keep a close eye on things. The platform is going to have a default geofence where the United States will be considered an approved country and the rest of the world is considered unapproved by default. You can adjust that geofence. We've got lots of districts that might add Canada or Mexico, but it's really up to your choice on which countries do you want to have as approved countries or unapproved countries. But yeah, one of the things we commonly see too is also VPN usage. That's a common problem, as well as those compromised accounts. And the nice thing too, any of these pins on the map here are clickable. You're able to click into those accounts directly here. It's going to provide some additional information about what's going on with that individual account there. So you're able to go through, audit that login activity, see what's going on. And this would be a count here where with all the login events that are going on, how quickly some of these are happening between each other, this would be something that would be pretty suspicious. Not possible, of course, to travel between India and Louisville there in a space of less than an hour there, or about an hour there. So definitely something that's great to keep an eye on as well too, is that login data there. And then from there, we've got some options there to go ahead and suspend accounts or reset passwords if we need to as well. So definitely handy to go ahead and take a look at that login activity, and something that's automated too in the platform, where you can have the platform take automatic action to come in and actually suspend accounts or reset passwords as well too, which can be very handy. And this applies to both Google and Microsoft. Microsoft, there tends to be a little bit better, more robust things with Microsoft's conditional access. Google has some feature functionality on that end as well too. But with both cases, sometimes we see things just slip through. It happens, so it's always nice to have another set of eyes on things to keep an eye out for things. And sometimes things can break as well too. I've seen situations where things just again slip through. So these policies can help keep another set of eyes on things and ensure that, hey, if somebody does manage to get in, there's another system keeping an eye on things where it can come in and suspend that account automatically, or reset the password, or even just warn the user, or just notify you right away and say, hey, there's an issue here. We want to keep a closer eye on that.